Hello, hello. Capricorn risings. You have a lot happening in that first house. My name is Dr. McCollins from Tree Consulting. Thank you for being here. First, let me say that if you like my work, I would really appreciate it if you could head over to Ko-fi, or Venmo and leave me a little something. If you are interested in having a reading with me, please feel free to go over to my website, sabretreeconsulting.com, and sign up for one of those because my books are open. Let's hop into January, and I apologize for the delay. Winter break was not a break for me. I do not know why my screen looks like that. Let's look a little funny here. Whatever. So January 4th, which was last Thursday, we had Mars moving into your first sign, okay? Or first house of Capricorn. And Mars loves being in Capricorn. It is where it is exalted. It is where it has a lot of power other than being in its own signs of Aries and Scorpio. And so you are going to want to look at Aries and Scorpio houses because it's going to strengthen those as well. I will say that this Mars in Capricorn season, which goes until February 13th, you're going to have to stay flexible. So if you started a new workout routine, or if you started something that has to do with your physical form, and the results of that aren't working in the way that you want to, I'm not saying get rid of that goal. I'm just saying that you're going to have to switch it up. Okay. So maybe if you've been doing too much weightlifting, it's time to actually do some yoga or stretching and add that to your routine as well, so that you can reach your muscle gaining goals, or your working on strengthening your bone structure. Okay. You don't want to hurt yourself. You're going to want to take your time. So like, I would advise that if you had like a New Year's resolution and you were like, I am going to do a couch to marathon. Don't do a couch to marathon. A couch to 4K, acceptable. But being a couch potato and then being like, I'm going to run a marathon in February, let's be for real. Okay. You will get hurt. So just slow and steady wins the race, and you're not competing with anyone other than yourself. In 2 days, we have the Capricorn new moon in your first house. And so we're looking at you keeping your goals hush hush, and hype yourself up in order to reach them. Some of the times, in order to actually reach those goals, we need to keep those goals to ourselves, because even those with the best of intentions will have a nasty habit of letting their own fears leak out and then influence what you do or do not do. It's like when people are saying that certain things are cringe now, and you're like, but I like that thing. Like that thing. Like, it doesn't matter if other people think it's cringe. You want to dress up as a furry? Go for it. You want to start doing cosplay? Go for it. Okay. If that is your goal, then that is your goal. Just make sure that you're not making your goal be something that is, one, unattainable, okay, and unrealistic. And two, that you're not speeding towards that goal at all costs, because you will hurt yourself, physically hurt yourself. Okay. On the 13th, which is 2 days later, it's this Saturday that's coming up, we have Mercury also moving into your first house. So we've got a Capricorn party right now because the sun, it's Capricorn season still. So happy birthday with that, because that went into effect in December, and it'll go until the 20th. But when Mercury enters Capricorn, you're going to want to be careful of loving yourself, hearing yourself speak. Okay. It's possible your siblings and community might be a little selfish, and you'll be very direct about your needs, which is good for your own mental health. Okay. It is perfectly fine to set boundaries with people who are close to you, who take advantage of you. When I say boundaries, boundaries aren't like, these are the things that make me comfortable. Okay. From a mental health perspective, and what I would tell my patients when I was counseling them as an audiologist, you have your standards, right? And then you tell the people you care about those standards and ask them if they can meet those standards. And then if they say yes, you now have the expectation that they're going to meet that standard, whatever that standard is. And if they say no, you get to choose whether or not that standard is so important that you can't remain flexible, or if it's something that's not that important and you can meet them halfway. Okay. Then you have that discussion, which might be conflict, which is fine because all healthy relationships have conflict. They then let you know whether or not they can meet that new standard, and you now have expectations based off of that. Okay. Then you have your rules, right? And your rules might be, don't come over to my house unannounced. Text me first. That might be your rule. The boundary is, if you come over to my house unannounced and I am home, I'm not letting you in. That's the boundary. Your boundary is your reaction to them not following the rule. Does that make sense? The boundaries are what you're going to do. You can't control them. You can tell them what the rule is, but you can't control whether or not they're going to respect you enough to follow that rule. So it's up to you to be like, listen, this is what I need for my mental health. I am not a drop by house, or I need you to answer your phone when I call, or please text me within like 24 hours so I know you're still alive. Whatever that boundary is that you are voicing to your siblings or the people who are close to you that you consider family, in that regard, it, it's okay to be straightforward with it, because you might have tried before to let them know, but because Mercury was in Sagittarius, along with Venus, it was a lot of sugarcoating to get to the point. The sugarcoating is gone. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to be mean about it, but honesty without kindness is cruelty. However, kindness without honesty is lying. Okay. All right. So on the 20th, which is the following Saturday, we have the sun moving into Aquarius. Your values and time is important to you, and you're able to express easily what you think will bring you joy in extracurricular activities. Be careful because Jupiter in the fifth, he's not exactly trustworthy. Okay. Having Jupiter in your fifth house of fun, children, hobbies, um, you have to be careful with him, because Jupiter is also the reason why people have addictions. Okay, because Jupiter is based off of the mythology of Zeus. And if you were ever a Greek mythology geek, you understand that Jupiter is not necessarily a good dude. Okay. He does require extra effort. And because he's in Taurus right now, that effort is going to be slow moving. So if you have a hobby or you're trying to find joy in material things, then it's going to take a hot minute for it to come to fruition. But there's always the chance of overindulgence and having a little too much fun that can actually go against what is good for you. So be mindful of that. We have on the 23rd, Venus moves into Capricorn and joins the party. So she's able to kind of soften Mars's need to make advancements fast. Um, the conversations might be more about relationships because she is entering into Capricorn. It's going to be a little bit more serious and somber, those conversations. Um, so when Venus moves into your first half of self, also feel free to make yourself pretty. Work on that outside. Invest in a wardrobe that has like a classic long lasting feel. You've got your eye on your finances, so don't overspend, no matter how much you think it might bring you joy. Okay. So I don't know, maybe go to a thrift shop instead of heading to uh, buy that brand new Louis Vuitton or something. I don't know. On the 25th, the final major transit of the month, the 25th is Thursday. We have the Leo full moon. So this is a wrapping up of whatever you began over the summertime when we have the Leo new moon. And what do I have written there? Was getting other people's money in your pockets your goal last summer? You might have to discuss how things personally affected you with neighbors or siblings in order to have local politicians part with money for maybe that new playground, or maybe it's something to do with the school. I don't know. Um, maybe it's to do with a new hobby, or it's to do with a rec center. But that is what we've got for the Leo full moon for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I know this was a quick 12-minute wrap up of what January has in store. Like I said, February's information is going to be up on my Patreon on January 15th. And then it's going to be here on YouTube by January 29th. Feel free to head over to my website if you would like a reading with me, so that we can work on what your individual goals are and how this year is going to affect you personally. And then, oh, if you like my work, please leave me a little something something at Ko-fi, Coffee, Venmo. All of the money is going to be going towards my nonprofit organization, which is to help people with student education advocacy or special education advocacy for people who can't afford it. Once again, thank you for being here. And remember, you are worthy of all the good things that are headed your way. Bye.